Hello. Welcome back. Damn it. Okay. So a couple of things. I want to talk about this guy. Pretty excited I got a dark crystal. Talked about it in another video, but the video didn't get a single view, so yeah. Thanks, TikTok. So now I use this and I channel with this guy. That's pretty cool. It's a dark amethyst. And then, as you can see, I'm doing a cosmic reading, which people really seem to love this cosmic reading. My name is Ash. You don't know that by now. I'm a warlock, and I do spells, readings, and alignments. So typically, I'm just gonna do a little talking before I start. Jeez. Typically, there's two types of things you can do. You can force a read, or you can wait for a read. Basically, what I've been doing is I've been doing a video every day, so I've essentially been forcing reads. Some reads I even do multiple in a day. It's not necessarily a bad thing just by saying forcing reads. It's just, to me, it feels a lot less natural. Because sometimes there are also reads that I'm called to do. I've got some YouTubers who literally post every day, and I've got some YouTubers who only post when they're called to post. I'm not saying whether one's good or bad. I'm just saying I felt like being one of those people who only post when they're called to post. Just because my own personal preferences. I don't know if that's something I need to let go. But the whole point of the story is, these cosmic readings are actually the ones that are calling me to post. Can't explain it. I love these cards. I love these cards more than it's like children. They say you're not supposed to have a favorite child, but you do. You always do. I can't explain it. So without further ado, I'm gonna channel my dark amethyst. I'm gonna get the tinglies. And then we're gonna ask the cards, what's up? Cosmic reading. I should probably get out my book. 2, 3. Oh boy. Looks like the deck's gonna have to go on the ground. Oops. Oh. I was gonna say let that be the last card, but it didn't flip, so. Alright. First 5. And then the master cards. And then the wild card. Alright, because I'm still fairly new and I don't do these a lot. I do remember the masters are the top, and I believe those are the future cards. For example, the servant under the master. Okay. Card of fate suggests how the future may... Okay, so future, present. First category is family. That's not looking good. It looks very combative. Actually, it's very combative. Judgment card on top. Right next to the 5 of Wands. Well, that sucks. Let's read what it says. Judgment card, upright. Reward for honor, favorable ruling, acquittal, proof of innocence, just deserts, impartial decisions, elevation of rank or status, restoration or wronged righted. The only reason I say it sucks is because of the 5 of Wands energy is combative energy. Oh, I was reading it as negative. But the 5 of Wands is actually overcoming. No, those are cups. Discs. Water. What was I doing? Wands? Wands is always in the front. Contesting, strife, competition, struggle for dominance, testing by fire, grace under fire. Interesting. So either you just had an outcome, renew for honor, favorable ruling. So basically, something just came out in your favor. Something in your family. Perhaps your family finally wised up. Maybe there was a fight going on pertaining to you. Maybe you were fighting with your family. It says, the master shows the actions of relatives. And if the bottom card, the servant card, is a number, it indicates particular actions. So with the family, maybe you were in some kind of a family fight. It doesn't have to be quite physical. Maybe it's an ancestral family too. It doesn't have to be 3D. Perhaps you just broke a chain. Perhaps some kind of justice just came, and even though judgment isn't justice, kind of similar, kind of not. Perhaps somebody in your family got their just desserts. Or, could be, you decided to make a decision and the family disagreed and judged you based off of it. But then your decision actually came to fruition and was right. Not coming from an ego point, just, I'm just reading what the cards say, man. Because the Five of Wands is battle, is competition, it's contesting, it's strife, it's competition, struggle for dominance. Testing by fire, grace under fire, or honor towards foes. So either, because this has to do with your family. It could be people in your family that you're at odds with. Could be just some kind of thing that was going on. It looks like it resolved, basically. I'm just beating around the bush. Looks like something that was going on in your family just got resolved. You were being judged, you were being critiqued. Or perhaps there's something that's some kind of reward or something favorable ruling. Basically, what happens when you get judged, you stand in front of someone and they give a ruling. They're like either good or bad. So perhaps your family was judging you based off your actions and something came to light and now they're like, oh. So you overcame some kind of battle and your family's just like, oops, my bad. Basically, you won some kind of internal family argument. Social life. We have the Fool. Whoops, too far. Upright, innocent, simplicity, naivety, childlike wonder, spiritual path, new beginning, journey of discovery, higher guidance, and need for prudence. And then the Three of Cups, which looks like a celebratory. This is actually a really good reading. I thought the first one was like negative, but it's not. It's actually quite positive. So is this one. The Three of Cups is a celebration. I couldn't tell you exactly because I'm still learning the energies. But if you want to base it off the card, oh, it actually says right here, abundance of water. The dude's having a good old time. You can tell he's just blasting one lady on one shoulder, one lady on the other, and he's just drunk and having fun. There's even flowers all over behind him, which I never even noticed that. The energy of the card. Abundance, good fortune, happy outcome. Oh, I've got some burpees and hiccups. What do they say? Confirmation burps? Where'd that come from? Completion, enjoyment, celebration, rejoicing, and merriment. So in your social life, you're having a good time. Sounds like you're doing good. You're the Fool, which again is okay. There is nothing wrong with being the Fool. In fact, that is a wonderful place to be. Perhaps you had a new beginning and you just made some new friends. If not, you already have, because this is in the future, that is in the past, so in the present or in the past, you are currently being the fool or learn to be the fool, and that is bringing you Three of Cups. That is bringing you abundance and good fortune. Don't need to say too much more in that social life. Work life. Death. Well, that's not good. Death, I typically always see as a bad card, and Seven of Wands, which is also a fighting card. Let's see what's going on. 13. Oop, it's right there. Upright, transformation, rebirth, transition, pilgrimage, ordeal, risen from the ashes, a new identity. Well, hopefully you didn't just lose your job. It actually sounds like you did. I've actually been knowing a lot of people too lately. I've been going to the malls a lot lately, and I'm just seeing store after store close down. Talking to this really pretty lady. She was upset, obviously, because her store was just shutting down. I'm like, so what you gonna do? She's like, well, I'm gonna look for another job. She's like, I actually like this job. But, you know, it's like, well, what do you do? So a lot of people, I mean, it seems like unemployment. I don't actually know how bad it is right now, but it's not doing good, I can tell you that. But anytime we lose something, we always gain something, so don't think it's negative. Because this actually is a very good card. A new identity, arisen from the ashes. Losing something, the death of something, is the birth of something new. Since energy cannot be created or destroyed, people just think death is an end. Well, it's not. It's not an ending. It's a transition period. So what had to die, had to die. And the Seven of Wands. I thought that was a bad card, but it's actually a positive. Courage in oppositions, independent effort, possible victory, personal triumph, comforting or confronting a challenge, strong competition. So even though the situation looks grim, you're doing good. Personal triumph, confronting a challenge, and strong competition. I mean, if you look at the card, the dude's a badass. He's fighting off 3 bitches all by himself with one little stick. Yeah. So it may seem like a struggle, but you'll get through it. You always do. Interesting. Now we're moving on to the love life. The Hangman. The Hangman is always just kind of chilling. That's how it always is. Suspension, waiting, need for patience, delay, willing sacrifice, trial of endurance. And then, let's see, how about the Knight of Swords? Queen of Swords, King of Swords. Oh, I'm a little too far. And then the Knight. A young man with a sharp wit, clever, full of thoughts and ideas. Restless in his interests, always seeking new problems to occupy his attention. His eloquence may earn him the reputation of expert. Idealistic, abstract in his thinking. Sometimes absent-minded, he is more interested in planning than doing. He meticulously devises ways to reach his objective, but when he has it in his grasp, he loses interests. So perhaps that's why you're in suspension. I know I'm being paused in my love life. I've been trying to date again, and it just hasn't been going. So perhaps that's why. Now this says typically that has to do with someone else. When they say it's a number card, they typically say it's someone else. But I can totally see myself being a sword, a Knight of Swords. Because I am pretty idealistic and abstract, and I do typically sometimes just the the fact of not being happy with what you have, that typically is what it describes. When you get what you have, you lose interest. So perhaps you're in the hanging status until you learn how to be grateful. And I know that sounds kind of rough, but it's like, if you get what you want and you're not happy with it, well, that has nothing to do with what it is. It has to do with you. So no matter how many times you get what you want, if you're never happy with it, what's the point? So perhaps you're in this hanged situation so that you can learn how to be happy, or learn what you need to before love comes in. Because the Knight of Swords is also moving. Knights also move. Swords, I believe, is air, which has to do with mentality. So a movement of perception. Perhaps a different way of thinking. Oop, too far. Too far. We're now just going to move right on into the Devil card. So, in school, or life, because as I always say, even if you're not a student, you're a student of life. In the present, there's distractions. Defiance of authority, rebellion, brute strength, lustfulness, personal magnetism, dominance, reckless courage. Sounds like we're lacking on the learning a little bit. Sounds like we need to focus and kind of tighten our belt down a little bit. A little bit of pride. Gotta tone that down. Calling us out on this one, huh? Harsh. And then the Nine of Cups. Wands always first, cups are always next. Ten of Cups, Nine of Cups. Success, realization, material pleasure, well-being, contentment, satisfaction, pride and achievement, and wish achieved. So it sounds like if you get over this lust, over the pride, and over the distraction, and the defiance of authority. I know I've always been pretty defiant with authority. I'm just... mainly because authority's always been a negative influence in my life. So now I'm actually healing my relationship with authority, because you have to be your own authority. And then, let's check out the wild card, see what it has to do with all of this. Oh shit! Let's see what the Empress has to say. I was not expecting that. The Empress. Fertility, vitality, excess of passion, wildness, unchecked enthusiasm, strong growth, good health, womb of nature, pregnancy with new life, material instincts, and sensual woman. Well, basically what that sounds like to me, well, I'm focusing on the strong growth here. So the strong growth for all of it. Because even though you were judged, there is growth. There's even growth in being the fool. There's growth in death. There's growth in being in the hanged man, and there's growth in distractions. There is growth in every single category. And the womb of nature, pregnancy, because while there's growth, there's also giving birth. You grow first, then you give birth in the womb. You grow in the womb, then you give birth, or get birthed. What else you got to say? A sensual woman, maternal instincts. Interesting. So I guess the whole reading is pretty feminine, huh? Which is quite alright. Alright, and then let's go down the other direction. So judgment for being the fool, which causes a death, an ego death, which then suspends you, and in the suspension, trying not to get distracted during this process. That's how I'm reading it. And then the Five of Wands, you overcome, you celebrate, you fight again, you overcome, then you celebrate. And then there's growth in between each period. Because then after you get through that energy, you grow. I imagine it being between each card. So, like, it works in stages. You fight, you grow, you celebrate. You fight, you grow, you celebrate. It's interesting. Interesting pattern in life. And this one didn't actually take as long as I thought. I'm normally used to it being like 40 minutes. Let's get a little more from this book specifically, which is the original book. See if it has anything else. The Devil specifically. Ravage, violence, force, vehementance, interesting. Extraordinary efforts, fatality, that which is predestined, wow, but not for this reason, evil. Okay, well that confused me more. So we're just gonna go with the reading that I have. I always love these cosmic readings. Like I said, these are the ones that I actually feel like getting called out to. I know it sounds crazy, but this deck speaks to me better than the rest of the decks. It's like that friend I have better communication with, we just get each other. So although the decks, there is only one deck I truly can't fully understand. Maybe I just haven't practiced with them enough. But this deck, it gets me and I get it. It's kind of crazy. Not gonna lie. It also takes the most energy out of me too, because these are more in-depth reads than what I normally do. But I've been getting better at reading, or else it wouldn't take that quick. I think that's it. Hopefully this was beneficial and useful. Gave you some insight. I know it definitely gave me some insight. You all have a great day.